The NFL, America's passion. What makes the NFL so great? First of all, Cinderella stories. Kurt Warner, an Arena League quarterback who was bagging groceries at a local store before the St. Louis Rams called him up. Warner led one of the greatest offenses in NFL history, won the Super Bowl in 2000, and was eventually inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Tom Brady, selected in the 6th round, is now a 5-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time NFL MVP, and is widely considered to be the greatest player of all time. Next, we have rivalries. Every sport has rivalries, but nothing is as intense as the rivalries that exist in football. Denver Broncos versus New England Patriots, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and AFC dominance. Since 1996, the Patriots and Broncos have combined to win 11 of 20 AFC championships. Of course, there's fantasy football. Who doesn't love fantasy football? Fantasy football is no longer just a hobby. It is a multi-million-dollar industry. The Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals, and the World Series are all best-of-7 games. The Super Bowl, it is a single game where there is no tomorrow. It needs 2 weeks of media coverage prior to kickoff. The commercials are classic. The halftime show is epic, and more food is consumed on Super Sunday across the nation than on Thanksgiving Day. And of course, there's tailgating. The hot grills, the cold beers, socializing with fellow fans, rain or shine, day or night, tailgating continues, and it is a beautiful thing. Well, maybe we thought it was. Why do we act like this? What happened to our self-control? Are we no longer self-aware of our own actions? What causes such aggressive behavior? What do these clips all have in common? Yes, they all have a plastic table involved, but that's not what I'm trying to get at. First, we see a fan holding his beer. We see that same man chugging his beer right after he jumps 10 feet, slamming his body onto a table. We see 2 men shotgunning a beer right before they pick up a fellow fan and slam him into a table. Most of all, we see alcohol, hopefully not a Coors Light. I'm personally more of an IPA guy myself. But going back to the point, what do we, as social psychology students, know? We know that self-awareness is the opposite of de-individuation. We also know that circumstances that decrease self-awareness, as alcohol consumption does, increases de-individuation. Both laboratory experiments and police data indicate that alcohol unleashes aggression when people are provoked. Alcohol enhances aggressiveness by reducing people's self-awareness. A survey of over 900 NFL fans revealed their alcohol consumption habits, both at home and at the stadium. No matter the location of where fans will watch the game, on average they will consume 6 or more alcoholic drinks. What else do we see in these clips? We see large groups. Such de-individuation is especially likely when people are in large groups. Diffusion of responsibility increases with numbers. Also, groups can amplify aggressive reactions. Anonymity. Studies have shown that when preparing for battle, warriors in some tribal cultures depersonalize themselves with body and face paints or special masks. Does becoming physically anonymous always unleash our worst impulses? Arousal. Group shouting, chanting, clapping, or dancing serve both to hype people up and to reduce self-consciousness. Does competition influence aggression? To add a dose of competition to their pre-game alcohol consumption, tailgaters play a variety of drinking games. While it is widely considered that violence breeds aggression, studies have otherwise shown that it's competition rather than violence that causes aggression. With the combination of all these factors, what could possibly happen? The battle Battle of the Bay is an intense rivalry that exists between the Niners and the Raiders. Imagine this guy in the Frazier shirt, except that he's wearing this jersey, Jimmy G. We often like to believe that opposing fans act in a very peace-loving way. Why shouldn't we? It's Sunday. We're enjoying ourselves with the company of friends and fellow fans, but this isn't always the case. With the combination of fueled competitiveness, large groups, anonymity, and arousal, this mixture could possibly lead to this. That same study on NFL fans revealed that about 31% of fans engage in verbal fights, while about 14% of fans engage in physical fights. The NFL's low tolerance for fan misconduct has led to a substantial increase in fan arrests over the past decade. The league is cracking down on drunken horseplay, and instead of handing out warnings, they are showing fans the cuffs. It's a football game after all. Emotions tend to run high, but fans tend to get a bit overboard with their behavior. You can blame it on the alcohol, the loss, or even just a spontaneous sour mood. It doesn't matter. Fans just don't care. Since the San Francisco 49ers opened Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, police officers have averaged 30 arrests there each game. Additionally, we see that arrests are highest after close losses. Could this be the result of displacement? It is plausible to consider that fans of losing teams who possibly feel frustrated that their team just lost redirect their aggression to fans of the opposing team. Final thoughts. So, putting all the pieces together, can we assume that large groups plus anonymity plus alcohol plus arousal plus competition equal de-individuated and aggressive behavior? Correlational studies recognize the relationship between variables, such as this case. While knowing whether 2, 3, or even 4 things are related is valuable information. However, it is not a reliable indicator of what is causing what, or even whether an additional variable is involved. Thus, we should not be too fast to assume that the mixture of alcohol consumption, group size, anonymity, arousal, and competition are the factors that fuel de-individuated and aggressive behavior at NFL games. In terms of my Super Bowl prediction, there's no way that Jared Goff and the Rams can defeat Drew Brees and the Saints at their home turf. And while I hate to admit it, I believe that the young Patrick Mahomes will defeat the 40-year-old Tom Brady in Kansas City.